Hi and welcome. I hope you're all well and enjoying your day or night wherever you are in the world. There's been a report put out by a Jack Royston about Meghan and Harry not wanting to put photos out about the children. Isn't that kind of interesting? I mean, there's only been a few photos put out anyway over the years that they've been born. We've only had Prince Archie's only made two official public appearances since his birth in 2019, and Lilibet hasn't made any since her birth in 2021. So now he's reporting that they might be entering a new era of privacy. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Kind of reeks of possibly the children will never be seen again in the public eye, ever. Kind of freaky, isn't it? Don't you think? Does that kind of go with the narrative that possibly these children maybe don't exist? Or if they do, they are definitely only of one parent, which is kind of what has been out there for a very long time. But it's interesting that they put out this piece to say that there's going to be no photos shown, etc. They're going to keep them in private forever, basically. How do they think that's going to work? Like, they will grow up eventually and they will want to seek, going out and having their own lives, etc. We can only go back to the times when Harry was rebelling and doing all the things he did, going out to pubs, getting drunk, doing drugs, whatever else he was up to, and people snapping photos. Do they think that their children are not going to do these things? I mean, they all come of age at a certain time where you just don't have no control over them, do you? I mean, I feel really sorry for them. If they do exist, allegedly, I feel really sad for them because they're really missing out on the wonderful culture of, the other side of the family, as in the royal family, the UK culture, the beautiful country of the UK, and of course, Doria's side of the family. They're missing out on that as well. And obviously, her father's side of the family, they're missing out on that as well. So, are they not alienating them from everybody and denying them knowing where they've come from, their culture, their families? I think it's kind of really disturbing, to be honest, because you've got these two people that think that they can manipulate, I guess, these children and try and groom them to whatever they want them to be or whatever person they want them to be, in my opinion, that is, and sheltering them from this world. That's only going to cause more damage. That's just my opinion. But to put out there that they are never going to release photos and they're going to keep them very, very private, it kind of smells a bit like they're trying to hide something, in my opinion. What could they possibly be trying to hide? Considering it was only a few days ago that they were saying that she's going to possibly have a third baby. They just keep putting out this kind of rubbish all the time that is keeping people talking about them, obviously, but they haven't got anything valid and solid that they can put out and that they stick to. Or they never finish anything. They start things, but they never ever finish them. It's just really absurd the way they carry on. It's very I don't know. It's very. I think a psychologist would have to comment on what goes on behind closed doors there, and only they would know. Like I say, everything we say, or any of us, even in the comments, it's all our speculation and our opinions because we don't know what's really happening. We can only speculate, can't we? We can't say things are truthful or factual because we don't know. So denying them from both families, is that damaging to their mental health? Of course it is. It's damaging them to prepare them for the public life as it is because people will eventually see them. You can't hide them forever. They have to go to school, but apparently also she can't get them into schools because of the discrepancies in the birth certificates. So Good luck with that one. I mean, you shouldn't tell so many lies and do so many deceitful things because eventually everything comes out. You know, everything comes to light. You've got to always, well, try and be as honest as you possibly can. It's kind of interesting, isn't it, that they want to just keep them so hidden and away from everyone. And I always go back to the fact that everybody's got a camera on their phone these days. We're not talking 30 years ago when you had to actually carry a camera around. I remember those days. Um, and people can snap photos. So how come they haven't been seen? Why is she really quiet? When Megsy goes quiet, she's scheming or she's sooking. Which one is it? What do you reckon? Is she scheming or she's sooking? But then again, apparently Harry's looking for a place in the UK, remember? So, you know, and there's lots of talk of them separating, blah, 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 but I just don't believe that for 1 minute. I just don't believe, in my opinion, that Meghan would leave Harry, because where does she go from there? Like, unless she meets a billionaire, where does she go from there? It's reported all over the place that they're having money troubles. So where does she go from there? She's been accustomed to this life living on other people's money, because if you really think about it, she has actually earned no money, really. She's only done a little bit on Spotify and a little bit on Netflix. They've not earned any money. If she's waiting for Harry's next inheritance, well, Princess Anne kind of put a stop to that till he was 45, didn't she? So she might be hanging on for absolutely nothing, in my opinion, anyway. Kind of interesting, isn't it? Now, someone asked in the comments today, I think, or yesterday, what other YouTube channels I follow. Now, there is a few that I actually really, really like to follow, and some that are very intriguing. I'm just going to touch on the ones, obviously, on this subject, and maybe one that's not on this subject. The Sean Atwood channel, I've been following him for about 5 years. My daughter was still in school, and she actually introduced me to him, interestingly enough. I walked into her bedroom one day and she had him on the big screen and she was watching him, and I was like, who's that? And she told me all about him. She's always been interested in, she wants to do psychology, so she's always interested in true crime stories, etc. And I like that as well. So she was doing a project at school. The project was something like, who has inspired you that has changed their life around? Like, you know, do a project on that. I can't remember what it was actually called. And she told me all about him, and I was like, wow, he sounds really interesting. So I started watching him, and I really like his true crime stories. We have a few of his books. We're a bit of book nerds around here. So, yeah, he's really cool. I love the way he interviews. He's a very interesting and intriguing man, to be honest. And I also watch his family channel with him and his wife and his little boy. It's kind of interesting too. Because I like spiritual stuff and some paranormal activity, and I like when they talk about that as well. So that's pretty cool. Steph the Ultra Nerd, I like her. I like her bubbly personality and the way she delivers her news or show, if that's what you call it. Call these things. She's very, very bubbly, and she's a nerd. She reminds me of my daughter, actually. Her enthusiasm is great. She's really cool, and I also don't mind watching Popcorn Planet. I think he's kind of cool as well. He has an interesting way and some enthusiasm, which I kind of like. Lady C, of course. I remember seeing on her on Celebrity Get Me Out of Here Jungle Show, the one here in Australia. I thought, God, she's feisty, this lady, and I really liked her. I thought, who is that lady? Anyway, I researched her and found a YouTube channel. So I've been following her for quite some time as well. The Avid Gardener, that's kind of interesting, that one, because I'm into a lot of gardening, etc. I grow my own fruits and vegetables. I actually was searching gardening stuff and she came up, and then I clicked on it and she was talking about Harry and Meghan. I thought, oh, I like this lady. So I started following her. I think she's kind of cool. Also, who else do I watch? Of course, Tom Jr. I've only ever been a member of Lady C's and Tom's channel, no one else's. Yeah, that's the only two that I am a member of. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry about that. Who else do I like to watch? I've watched the Sidley Twins a few times. I don't mind them. They're kind of interesting as well. There is quite a few of channels out there that, you can swap and change and watch whatever you want and don't have to watch if you don't want to. That's the way I see it, and I guess that's the way everybody else sees it. And I guess you've got to click with the person as well. I feel that if you don't click with the person, I've been on some channels, I'm like, yeah, I don't really click with you. But yeah, if they've got a bubbly personality and yeah, it's the way they deliver their show. Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Different people. Dan Wooten, I follow him as well. I have for a while. It is Dan Wooten, isn't it? I like Piers Morgan as well, even though he can get a little bit out of control sometimes. But I like that he just puts things out there and he doesn't care what people think. I think he's got that ballsy kind of character. I kind of like that as well. So I do follow him. Not every day. I don't have time to watch YouTube all day, every day. I don't know where people get this time, but there you go. I mean, there's all different kinds of personalities out there in this YouTube world, social media world, on Instagram, on X. I went on X a few times, and even though I did put like an account on there, I don't really like it, just for the simple fact that I feel like it's a little bit toxic. I feel like there's a lot of people being mean on there and just really nasty comments and stuff like that. I don't really like that. And I mentioned this when I first started this channel. If I see, the Sussex Squad on here or nasty comments from anyone or whatever, I'm just going to block and delete them because I just don't think it's necessary to be nasty, and just be horrible on social media. But I guess there's a lot of that goes on, isn't there? Apparently. Unbelievable. So I guess they're my top ones that I like to watch. Oh, I forgot the Royal Rogue. I have some of his memorabilia. I have an apron and a cup. I like him. I first started watching his other channel because, like I said, we like to see how people tick. So he's got another channel. I've absolutely forgotten what it's called at this minute, but it's he kind of looks into things a little bit deeper. I can't remember what it's called, but if you search him, you'll find his other channel as well. I really like him. I really, really like him. I love that he sits there in his shirt and tie and his jacket, and he really takes pride in the way he delivers stuff, and he's very, very professional. I think that's the thing. I think that's why I really like Sean Atwood, because he's very professional. If you've ever watched him interviewing Lady C, he's really, really good. And even when he interviews ex-criminals, etc., he's really good at interviewing, and he's a really, really good author too. I think that intrigues me more is when people are very professional and they know their business, basically. They know their work. Yeah, I really like the Royal Rogue. He's pretty cool. I can't think of any other ones at the top of my head. Oh, I don't mind POV. He's kind of funny. I think it's POV. I think his name's Andrew. His little shorts he puts out, they're kind of funny. And the way he says things under his breath actually makes me laugh. He's cool. But yeah, there's lots of people out there doing their thing, and it's just, if you click with them, you click with them. There's lots to choose from. You don't have to, I know there's a lot of nastiness happening at the moment, but I'm not going to comment on that crap because it's just absolute rubbish, in my opinion. So there you go. But I've had a lot of nasty comments on one of my episodes. I think it was yesterday. But you know what? It doesn't really bother me. People have their opinions and they're entitled to it. So, whatever. The show goes on, don't they say? That's kind of funny. But yes, Harry and Meghan are not going to be putting out any more photos of the alleged children. Don't you have to have alleged children to put them out there? The photos? Oh, they're funny buggers, aren't they? I wonder what their next move is. What do you think their next move is going to be? I think she's going to come out with something ridiculous that she's unwell or got anorexia and she's so stressed and she needs a mental break because, her life is so drastic. Well, she's made her own drama, hasn't she? She's a drama llama. She's created her own drama. Isn't it funny with these people, right? They create their own drama, and I've seen this throughout life. I'm in my 50s, so I've had a tiny bit of experience, but I've seen this throughout life with people. How they put all this rubbish out there, how they do all the drama, then they switch it really quickly and become the victim. It's like they have this dual personality, in my opinion. Like 1 minute they're throwing the bomb, and then the next minute they're there with a fire extinguisher. It's crazy. It's like really crazy. Like, how do people operate like that? Throwing out these little grenades and then, oh dear, I got injured. Please don't play the victim. If you're going to be ballsy to say shit. But I guess we're all different, aren't we? That's what makes us all uniquely ourselves. Kind of funny. Let me know what you think her next move is going to be, or their next move. I certainly don't think it's going to be a separation. I might be wrong. But I don't wish them to separate. That's not very nice if you do. Catch you later.